part of the first official medal competition here in Lake Placid. We will be seeing 44 athletes from 15 nations competing. It's great to see some new nations that we don't see as often on the World Cup. Sweden, for example, Kazakhstan, we've been missing them in the last few weeks. But of course, you see those signature strong nations: Germany, Austria, Slovenia, Norway, Japan. Looking at that last bib number 44, Ingvild Sinova Midtskogen, she will definitely be one to watch. She was the winner of today's trial round, but again, trial doesn't count for anything. This is a big deal. This is a very important competition, so nerves definitely play a role, and we are excited to see how this turns out. To make matters even more challenging, these are considered junior athletes, so under 19 years old. However, 16 of them are just coming off of the World Cup competition here on the large hill in Lake Placid. So these are top level athletes competing against the best in the world in the junior category. Now, just so you know, those that competed in the World Cup do not have an unfair advantage of having extra jumps. They were competing on the large hill, the one to your right as you're looking up the hill. Today we will be on the normal hill, the hill size 100, and hopefully we'll be able to see some jumps down around that distance. Reflecting on trial, 93 was the long jump from Ingvild Sinova Midtskogen, so we will see if she can match that or better it in the competition to come. Waking up this morning, it was a beautiful crisp day, but the temperatures have increased a little bit to a comfortable jumping time. With a little bit of headwind, it's going to be a great day for ski jumping, and please just take in and enjoy these views. It's great to have ski jumping at the highest level here in the United States of America. We are moments away from kicking off the start. Iona Enea from Romania will be the first athlete to come. The athletes had some training jumps already on this hill, and this will be their time to shine. This is the one and only individual competition here in Lake Placid, but don't worry, there are teams and mixed team competitions to come.
All right, another trial jumper on the hill.
So listening into the stadium, it sounds like we have another trial jumper on the hill, making sure that the track is clear. The volunteers here in Lake Placid have not had a break. They've been working day in, day out. First on the large hill for the World Cup competitions, and now here on the normal hill. The good news for the hill packers, slightly smaller hill, so not quite as much work. Taking a look down, it looks like a great day for competition, and I believe we have one of our first athletes getting ready. Start gate decided at gate 22, so that's important to note. We were at gate 20 in the trial round, so a little bit more speed and hopefully seeing some more jumps over that K point. American Josie Johnson was very strong, not only in the World Cup, coming off of a career best, but also in the trial round. Looking up the hill now, bib number 1 is sitting on the bar waiting for the green light. For all of you new to the sport, just take a look at the top right of your screen. She has been waiting for the green light, and there it is. Now she has 10 seconds to get off the bar and go. Here she comes, bib number 1, Iona Enea from Romania. A little off balance, but pretty good for the distance for her. You can see, based on the body language, not totally satisfied with that effort. She will be definitely not getting the best style points today, but for some athletes, being here is a huge accomplishment. So a jump of 70.5, and that will be, of course, the current lead. Taking a look at the wind compensation, there seems to be some headwind out there, and that's why the jury is slowly waiting to turn the light to green to make sure these athletes have fair competitions today. Of course, everybody loves the headwind. Headwind is the wind blowing up the hill. and it creates kind of a cushion of air for you to float on. It's very fun, but of course, if it's too strong, it can kind of hold you back right from the takeoff. Speaking of holding you back, we're still waiting for the green light for Pia Stutz from Austria. And there she has it. Here she comes to beat 61 meters. A little late on the timing, but trying to make her way out there. Beautiful telemark. So you'll be seeing some better style points for Pia. A little short of the distance from the first competitor, but I think she'll definitely make up for it in the style points. Scores are coming in. And no, I was incorrect. Minus 1.5, so 1.5 points behind the leader, Iona Enea from Romania. But let's get excited now. Here is the first American competitor of today's competition. This is Kaja Kopenhaver, representing the Central Division. But of course today she's representing the United States. But excited to see how many different ski clubs are represented here in Lake Placid at the Junior World Championships. In the U.S., we've really been working on developing the depth, getting more ski clubs involved, and to see them representing here, representing the U.S., is great to see. Kaja is from the Ishpeming Ski Club, a great venue with long ski jumping history, and that definitely inspired her as she was making her way up. Kaja now, you can see, getting off the bar. So she will get off, wait for the wind to calm down a little bit, and then get back on, giving it another attempt.
Kaja exits the start position, waits for the...
Looking up the hill, she seems very confident. For her, a little wind is nothing. She's used to jumping in all kinds of conditions. And I'm excited to see her kicking it off here at the Junior World Ski Championships.
So the distance to beat is
there's some headwind moving up the hill.
Iona Enea of Romania.
You can see the light still on yellow. Keep an eye on that. Once it turns green, she'll have 10 seconds to go. Waiting for her coach's flag, and here she comes. This is Kaja Kopenhaver from the U.S.
And she's on the hill. Here she comes.
Kaja not quite getting the distance, but seeing her compete here is a privilege. We're so excited to see the development of this young athlete.
Young Kaja Kopenhaver.
Kaja with a 52.5 meter jump, so that will not be enough to take the lead. Puts her into third place at the moment. So great to see Kaja out here, and we will definitely keep our eyes peeled in years to come. Back to the top of the hill now. This is a familiar last name from the World Cup. This is Anja Imhof from Switzerland. We had the privilege of watching her brother here competing in the World Cup. That is Remo Imhof. He gained some valuable World Cup points on the large hill, and hopefully will be coming away from Lake Placid with some fond memories. In ski jumping, it seems like it's a big family sport. Sometimes you have siblings competing together on the World Cup, and that is so special, so fun to watch. Hopefully Anja continues this progression. Still waiting to see her first jump here. The light has turned red, so she is off the bar now.
All right, so she's coming off the bar. This is number 4 of Switzerland, Anja Imhof.
And an athlete from Einsiedel.
Of course, the training center for so many Swiss athletes. She had jumped to 71 and 61 meters in our official training yesterday. And again, these athletes are coming out of gate.
All right, looking up the hill now. She is back on the bar, and we'll be waiting for the green light. Don't have the graphic yet, but here she comes. This is Switzerland's Anja Imhof. Aggressive jump and getting a bit more distance than we've seen so far today.
The mark to beat is 70.5 meters by
It's exciting to see her out here representing Switzerland. They've had a little bit of a gap on the women's side, but have some younger leaders that are coming up in the ranks. And there you see that'll be our new leader, Anja Imhoff, into first place. Looking at the wind compensation, minus 10.4, so not as strong of headwind. So although she had only half a meter less than the leader, than the longest jump today, she will take the lead. But here comes our next competitor.
She gets the flag and she's on the hill.
Selina Wasser, also a name we know from ski jumping.
Past that 65-meter mark.
Selina, also from Switzerland, so we saw two Swiss athletes right now. That was 65.5 meters for Selina. She will be trying to take the lead from her teammate Anja, but unfortunately that won't be it. Puts her into fourth place. So for some of these athletes, they will definitely be keeping an eye on the scoreboard. In order to advance into that second round, they need to make it into the top 30. But looking up the hill, there seems to be some action. Coach's request down 3 gates. Now looking at the country, Ingrid Latte from Norway. We have become very accustomed to these gate changes from the Norwegian team.
So we'll see what she's got.
Irene Maria Kvandal, it is a standard for her almost every competition. But remember, in order to get the compensation points for a choice to move down, you need to fly 95% of hill size. Since we are on the hill size 100, for all of you that are not so good at math, this makes it easy.
So she's getting settled in at
95
the top of the
meters
hill,
is what she needs.
Right.
Now let's see what she has to show us. This is Ingrid Latte from Norway.
In first place, she's on the hill.
Oh, Ingrid with a powerful takeoff. Wow, and it was worth coming down, but I'm not sure she's going to get the distance. I mean, that was a huge jump from what we've seen, 90 meters. Ooh, so this was definitely a big gamble from Team Norway. 90 meters, that puts her, I mean, that will obviously put her into the top spot, but will she be getting the gate compensation points? Probably not.
Good jump for Ingrid Lotte of Norway.
The Norwegians are always prioritizing lower speed in order to make sure their athletes stay safe. Sometimes it's worth bumping down a few spots on the ranking in order to stay healthy. And looking forward, I know Ingrid has a long career to come.
Our next jumper, number 7.
Moving to the top of the hill now, this is Leonie Rongaldier. This is a very popular name in the ski jumping world from Italy. Here she comes. Very smooth jump, not blowing anything out of the water, but a great effort, and maybe that will be enough to compete for the podium for now. And sure enough, there she is into third place, Rongaldier from Italy. She seems happy to be here, and we're happy to have these athletes here in Lake Placid. What a privilege to be competing against the best juniors in the world. Moving up to the top now, our next athlete, Julia from Finland, but not the Julia you're thinking of. This is Julia Aikkia from Finland. Here she comes.
Julia Aikkia of Finland is on the hill.
Good takeoff, gaining height and flying down the hill.
Nice looking jump for her.
I think she'll be happy with that. Remember, Ingrid really is leagues above that person, that second place right now, 46-point lead. So in order to stay in the mix, I think that'll be important. Julia into second place. So remember, 30 advancing into that second round.
Solid style marks there.
I
14.5,
hope we'll be seeing
14.5,
Julia
for Julia Aikkia. It's enough
give
to
us
put
another
her
chance
into
in that second round.
Second position ahead of Anja Imhoff.
Our next jumper, coming from Kazakhstan, Victoria Rulieva.
On the bar now, waiting for the green light. This is Victoria Ruleva from Kazakhstan. Great to see the representation on the women's side. They're really growing the
Great
depth,
training
and this is a
venue in Alpine
country
there, of course, they
that
will
is
hold
relatively
the
new to the ski
Junior
jumping
World
scene, but has had
Championship as
some
well
really
recently. We
great
wait for the
leadership
heat to be
from some of their
just
best
right.
athletes now. Very competitive on the men's World Cup. On the women's
And again,
side,
typical of this hill is to have a little bit of
ups
air
and downs,
there,
but
right
we're
on the
excited
takeoff,
to
right on the
see
knoll.
such a strong team
And if the
here
athletes
for
can
the
get
Junior World
through that and
Championships.
find their way down below, oftentimes they find some pretty good air down below.
Looking up the hill, we're seeing
see
Jessica
what,
Jerome
Ruleva
from the
of
U.S., former
Kazakhstan
U.S.
can
jumper.
do.
All right, here she
Down the hill.
comes from Kazakhstan. Wobbling a bit with the skis in the air, just trying to find her way. You can see she seems a bit taller, and some of the athletes just getting used to flying on this hill. 64.5 meters. For a lot of these athletes, this is one of the biggest trips they've taken in their life. Competing here at the Junior World Championships is a huge step in your career.
Seems to be your style.
On the FIS channels, we heard from some of the stars, and they really have fond memories of their experiences here at Junior Worlds.
Alyssa Sedova.
She'll be waiting down. She's currently in 8th place, but she'll be waiting for her teammate, Alyssa Sedova, who's now on the bar. I wonder if they had a chance to say some words to each other as they were at the start gate.
Great conditions here.
But here she comes. This is Alyssa Sedova from Kazakhstan. Smooth, a little bit more stable in the air, and maybe getting a bit more distance than her teammate, but kind of skipping out on the telemark.
With the exception of Ingrid Lotte, who came down 3 start gates to number 19. And the distance there for
Distance
Sedova,
coming in 73 meters, and that puts her into 4th place. So between 2nd and 3rd, there's a bit of a gap, and of course between 1st and 2nd as well. So I think staying in the top 3 will be critical for making that next round. But great to see the smiles. These athletes are excited to be here, excited to be competing in the United States. It's a real pleasure to welcome such high-level competition back to the U.S.
Representing Japan, Yu Saito.
Personally, I'm hoping to see a lot of results from this, hoping this inspires the next generation. Some of the younger club kids get to watch their idols here live in their backyard. And I know as a former athlete that being able to see the best is so inspirational. You know what it takes, and you want to get better every day.
Again, 90 meters is the mark to beat, which she did jumping out of start gate 19. That's 3 gates below.
So we're still at 22, but that looks like the green light. Here she comes. This is Yu Saito from Japan. Great looking form. It's great to see some of these athletes that I don't know as well really showing that they've put in the work through the years. 84.5 meters.
84.5 for Yu Saito of Japan.
That was a great looking jump for her and puts her into 2nd place. So that, of course, that beautiful jump from Ingrid, still in the lead, but that is definitely getting close to that lead. All right, this is our 3rd athlete from Kazakhstan. Her teammates currently sitting in 5th and 10th place, so she'll be looking to chase them down.
Anastasia Gorunova.
And the light has turned green. Here she comes. This is Anastasia Guronova. Ooh, missing the takeoff, unfortunately, and coming up short. Sometimes timing on new hills can be so hard to master. The more you think about it, the harder it gets. Anastasia, I don't think she'll be too happy with that jump, but doing what she can and into 10th place ahead of her teammate. Top 3 right now, Norway, Japan, Finland, and the next competitor coming from Sweden. Great to see Swedish representation. Of course, we've seen a few flashes of brilliance on the World Cup for Sweden, but unfortunately right now we don't have any women competing on the World Cup, so seeing the depth on the lower levels is quite important. Jenny's up there on the bar waiting for the flag. And here she comes. This is Sweden's Jenny Forsberg. Aggressive with her body. Her skis weren't necessarily coming with her, and you can see the frustration. But what that tells me is she knows what she wants. She's very ambitious, and there's a lot left to see from her. Puts her into 4th place for now, and she can see she's so angry.
13.5 for her, so she missed out on that telemark landing.
So she we'll have to wait and see if she gets another chance in the next round. But looking up the hill now, this is the 4th athlete from Kazakhstan, meaning they will be able to compete in the team event. Very exciting to see the women having a team event at this Junior World Championships as well. So that's 4 people. Of course, they also have the mixed team event, which we got to enjoy here at the World Cup in Lake Placid just last weekend. Very competitive, so that's 2 men, 2 women.
Meters, they're coming out of gate 22 now. And let's see what Sviridenko can do.
We are waiting for the green light. She's staying patient.
Right up there. Our highest seeded Kazakhstan athlete out there. Maybe she can get one down.
Looking
into
at
the blue
the
banner.
graphic, it looks like it's red, so that when the wind is red, that means it's outside of the corridor. So now the light is red, so she needs to get off the bar. If the wind is outside of the corridor, there are certain parameters where the wind levels need to be within in order for them to be able to turn the light green. Sounds complicated, but they have little measuring machines set up all along the hill. And so then there's a whole graphic that you can look at inside the tower showing how the wind is at every single station. Gives you really great oversight, and that is one of the big technological advancements that's happened in the sport.
Cahill alongside Jeff Graves. Again, if you're just joining us here in the stadium, thank you.
And with that, that's how we can now change the gate around in the middle of the round without having to restart. It was a big advancement.
Top of the hill.
All right, the light is green, so we are ready for the next athlete. Here she comes. On the hill now, this is Alyona Sviderenko. And that's the best jump we've seen from Kazakhstan so far. She will be leading her team with that effort. Good jump for her. 77 meters, so that, we'll see how that is, but that was a great looking jump and puts her up into 4th place right now. I think she'll be pleased with that. Hard to see some of these athletes really keep their emotions tight, close to them. They don't want to show the world, but here we go. On to the next, from Italy, Noelia Vueric. Oh, there we go. Great looking ride for Noelia. We have seen her. This is more of a familiar name. She's competed on some higher level competitions, and you can see how confident she was with her direction from the takeoff. Kept her upper body super low. And great, puts her into 2nd place with an 86-meter ride. All right, so coming up onto the board, we're already seeing our first cue, so first qualified competitor. Guaranteed to see Ingrid from Norway in the 2nd round.
Distance between our 1st and 2nd, so there's a lot of room up there between the 2. But Noelia Vueric into 2nd place. Our next jumper, representing Austria at the top of the hill, Luisa Richter.
Yeah, she's a young skier, just 15 years of age, really here to gain experience.
Okay,
She's
here we
been in
come.
Alpine
The green, the light is green, and here she comes.
before,
This is
gaining some
Luisa
Continental Cup points.
Tricha from Austria.
Down the hill.
Late on the timing, very small little flyer. I know that if she gets a hold of that takeoff, she can be flying away from here. Unfortunately, lacking a bit on distance there, 71 meters.
Of Austria.
Austrians have a very strong team. We saw them last night at the opening ceremonies. And great team atmosphere. I think she's excited also to be a part of this. but that won't be enough for that second round, so she will just take that as experience. Louise into 8th place. On the hill now, Tamara Mesikova. We know her from the World Cup, and she showed us her flying skills, and there she shows us her flying skills again, this time on the normal hill. Tamara doing a great job of fighting for her country, sometimes the Lone Ranger out there, but she is doing great. Let's see, scores coming in, a distance of 84.5, and that's enough for second place. Only 6.9 points back from Ingrid Lach from Norway. That was a great effort. Top 3 right now, already qualified.
So that means that of Italy,
okay, here we go. Up to the top and on the hill.
The second round.
Here she comes, Amelia Vidgren from
United States of
England.
America.
Left the legs a little bit on the takeoff, so meaning she was a little bit too happy to get to the flight, flying with her upper body, but forgetting a little bit to push down on the takeoff. And even if this is the Junior World Championships, we are skiing from a very competitive gate. So just having good direction isn't quite enough. So that puts Amelia down into 6th, 2 out from qualifying. But here we go, back to the top. For all of the U.S. fans, it's time to get ready and get excited. Sandra Sprock from the Nordic Ski Club. She had a great competition here in Lake Placid for the World Cup. She had her first qualification, so meaning she got into the top 40. And here she comes. She'll be looking for more than top 40. Sandra Sprock. Oh, very aggressive. Good-looking flight. A lot of pressure under her skis and a great telemark. I don't know who's in the crowd, but they are cheering. They are excited for Sandra. 85.5 meters, so the second longest jump that we've seen today. Let's see where that puts her into 3rd place. Oh, that's going to be a great starting position for Sandra.
A good performance by Sandra Sprock out of Nordic Ski Club.
Furthest jump we've seen is 90 meters there. You can see gathered down at the bottom the sports fans. And, it's great to see, the week that she's had. It's been absolutely incredible.
For United States jumpers.
Sometimes it might seem like a gamble to put the athletes into the World Cup ahead of Junior World Championships. But it seems to only positively have affected Sandra. So here we come. Next athlete, Tinkara Komar from Slovenia. We know her sister Katra very well. I see some similarities in their flight position. And to me, that shows really the level that Sandra is at. So Sandra was 85.5. This was an 86-meter jump. Tinkara also with great looking style. And that's kind of what makes the difference right now. Tinkara into 2nd place, 0.9 ahead of Tamara Mesikova.
From Slovakia.
But the U.S. fans better get ready again because their next athlete is up.
Our next athlete, another American, representing the United States of America, Estella Hasrick.
She's sitting on the bar waiting for the green light.
Springs Winter Sports Club, of course, another great talent development center there in the beautiful Rocky Mountains.
I know she's going to be happy to have been joined by a lot of her teammates who came in a couple of days ago to compete here at the Junior World Championships. And here she is, Steamboat Springs, Estella Hasrick. Estella enjoying the view, not quite getting the distance. She made some huge progress this summer, especially under the tutelage of the U.S. new coach, Lena Yar.
Of the USA.
But lately, it seems like Estella's having a few issues kind of connecting the dots. And it's a really tough spot to be in. She's very ambitious and a great athlete. So it's really just about keeping the spirits up and continuing to work hard every day. Sometimes it helps to have team momentum, so hopefully she's able to get something out of the rest of the day, but I'm not sure that'll be enough for the second round. Here she comes. This is Natalia Slovic from Poland. We also saw her in the World Cup, so like I said, 16 of these athletes were competing in the World Cup on the large hill just last weekend.
Natalia Słowik out of Poland.
But 74 meters, I think that's
Great
a
to see
little
that
bit
puts her
further
into
back
10th
than she would
position
like
there,
to be
not
right now.
automatically qualified for the second round
She's
just yet.
currently 2 out from qualifying.
And again, putting Slovak
So
into
there is
10th
definitely
position,
still a
number
chance.
23 on the bar. This will be Kika Sakamoto.
The interesting thing about Junior
Japan.
Worlds is we're not going off of World Cup points, of course, so
And again, if you have friends
it's a
and
little
family
bit
at home,
mixed
they
up
can follow the action
and
online
maybe
on the
not
FIS app.
as
We've got
reliable
this live
knowing who's going to
stream,
qualify and
great
who
expert
isn't.
commentary
So
and
there is
analysis
definitely a
from
huge
Nina
chance for
Lucy.
Natalia still.
As we
But
await
speaking of
number
World Cup on the bar
23,
now,
Sakamoto
another athlete who got to
of Japan.
compete in Lake Placid, Kika Sakamoto. The Japanese team decided to spend a little extra time in Lake Placid. Some of their A team stayed home in order to train and prepare for the Senior World Championships. Those will be in Trondheim in a few weeks.
Currently in third,
And
as number 23 is being pulled off the bar. That's Kika Sakamoto.
Kika got to get some experience on that hill you're seeing on the right of your
Oyama High
screen,
School,
that
Japan.
insane large hill. One of the most imposing
And we're just gonna
structures,
reset the
I
clock
think,
there
on
and
the
wait for
World Cup
conditions to
circuit.
subside. A great picture there of those iconic Olympic towers built in 1979.
22 jumpers out of this round of
All right, here we
44.
go.
This first round of
Kika is
44
back
jumpers
onto the bar
are
and
gone.
getting ready to go.
And in fourth place is Sandra Sprock of the United States, a very far cruise from her.
The light is
With that
green, and
stacked
here
up
she
after
comes.
first
This
round
is
of her.
Kika
I'm sure
Sakamoto
she'll be in
from
the second round
Japan.
of competition.
All right, so she's on the hill there. Let's watch her
Aggressive,
fly. Kika
but
Sakamoto
missing a
of
little bit on the
Japan.
takeoff. Like I said, sometimes they move a little too quickly into the flight. Japanese are known to be super good in the air,
That's gonna be pretty close
and they
to
are
the
also
qualifying mark there.
used to
Again, the
competing
athletes wanna
in
make
all
sure they
kinds
make
of
it into that
conditions,
top
especially in
30
Sapporo.
to
Very
make the
windy,
next round out of a
so a
total
little
of
wind won't set her
44
back and
skiers.
puts Kika Sakamoto into 8th place for now.
Slots into 8th position
Good news
there.
for her,
She's
we will be
qualified.
seeing her in that
We'll see her
second
in
round.
round 2.
Next
And
jumper
good news
representing
for
Norway
Sandra
at the top
Sprock,
of the
still
hill,
sitting in 4th
Ingrid
place.
Grizzly.
All right, here comes the next athlete. This is Ingrid Grizzly
on the
from
hill.
Norway. Oh my!
Oh, so taking a
And you
tumble
know,
there,
sometimes,
unfortunately.
oh, the Junior Worlds,
She
you
is
just try to
down,
do a little
and
bit
our
more.
EMT staff is on site
I'm
knocking
very
out, but
glad
she's
to see her
quickly.
up and
We'd
moving.
love to see that.
Oh, that is a real shame.
Again,
No, the
very
medical
thankful
staff is
for
on the
our
hill, making
paramedics
sure
and
she's
EMT
all right.
staff for being on site here to offer assistance to the Norwegian jumper.
Ingrid
Immediately
probably
sat
out
up,
here
which is a good
trying
sign.
to
We'll
jump,
have a
outjump
look
her
at the hill
sister.
as well to make sure there's no damage to the landing hill before we go
let's
again. So
see.
we'll take a little bit of a pause
Hill crew's coming out.
as they
I
tend
believe
to.
she's standing.
Ingrid Grast.
Very, very happy to see her walking off the hill now. Ooh, that's too bad.
So the distance there, 58.5
So
meters for Ingrid Giesli
She
of
will not be getting the
Norway.
dist or the style
We're just
points
about
that she
halfway
needs to
through
make
this
it into that
first
second
round.
round.
Again,
But
we're keeping
hopefully
an eye
she
on those
isn't too
green
bruised
cues
up and
to
still
see
can
what
enjoy
happens
the
to make
rest of
that
the trip here
qualification
in
to
Lake Placid.
round number 2.
Based on what
Our
we
longest
saw,
jump so far,
her
90
confidence
meters
is at an
by
all-time high.
Norwegian Ingrid
And
Lofte
sometimes
out
that's
of
what
gate 19.
it
We're
means.
currently
You
skiing
kind
out
of
of gate
press onto your
22,
skis
so
too
plenty
much,
of
and
speed in
then
those tracks.
they
Looking
go
forward to
down.
some
They're
long
so
jumps.
long and
The
wide,
athletes
it just
will
catches
want
the air
best
and really
profile.
flips you.
And again, Jeff, as we've been chatting,
So there's definitely a
lots of
mental
these
challenge that
jumpers
comes
succeed
with
and in fact took part in the World
coming back
Cup,
from a jump like that.
competitions this past
Sometimes you're a
weekend,
little bit
Friday,
hesitant
Saturday here in
afterwards.
Lake Placid. An amazing
But I don't
event that
know
was, and of
Ingrid well
course,
enough to speak
the
to that.
Equal Pay Initiative
But
is an
anyway,
organized
glad
by
to
a
see
few
her
US
walking off the
jumpers
hill.
there. Lindsay Van, Jessica Jerome, Nina Lucy, and Tara Garrity Motes, former national team members who organized that prize money to ensure that equal prize money was offered for both the qualification and events, which was wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure so many young athletes in a World Cup competition just kind of shows that this
So looking up the hill now, we see that V5, so that means that's a 4-jumper.
the level is it.
So usually after a little bit of a break, they will send a 4-jumper to make sure the conditions are good and that the track is clear.
competing
This
at
is
that
the
World Cup
modernized
level
jump,
already.
so this is
It
an
absolutely
artificial
does. We've got a
track. There's
four-jumper
just
coming here
basically
for
ice right
number
under
5,
the
getting
skiers'
settled and adjusted just to make
skis.
sure that the hill is
So in the
in
old
good shape.
days,
A big shout out and a
they were
thank you
skiing on pure
to
snow
our
and kind of skiing
hill
in the
crew.
track
Got a
on their own.
professional staff
But
out
ski
there
jumping has
keeping an eye on the
changed a
landing hill.
lot. This has really helped,
Not only the hill packers
especially in
who've
Lake
sidestepped
Placid.
this whole Olympic jump,
You can jump in warmer
but the whole
temperatures.
staff
There's
there
a
with
tarp that
crampons just
covers
making
the
sure
in-run,
it is raked and buffed. With a look at
that
our top
allows
10 there,
you
it's
to really
Ingrid
jump
Lotte
in
of
all kinds
Norway
of conditions.
in
It
first
also
at the
makes it a
moment,
lot easier on the hill
as we
crew.
send a
So we're really,
four-jumper.
really glad for these
And those are the
improvements
standings
made
there
on this
after
venue, and of
24
course to be able to
44
host
jumpers.
the World Cup for men and women this year,
Happy
and
to
then the
announce
Junior
and
World
see that
Championships.
Ingrid
It's an
basically
absolute
had walked away
huge
from
year
the
for Lake
jump.
Placid,
The
and
hill
we're
workers
so happy
checked
about
out
it.
the hill. It held up rather well. There's no marks out there, no divots.
Hey,
It
Aiden.
will cause other accidents.
But that was
This is my
our
last bat.
last
Ready
four
to go.
jumpers, so that goes to show the hill is clear and ready
At the
to
start,
go.
bib number 25, representing
Remember
Japan,
what I said about the
Riko
Japanese
Iwasaki.
team, Riko Iwasaki. We also got to see her on the large hill just last weekend. And you might think it's interesting to go from a large hill to a normal hill for this competition, but it's the same on the World Cup. The next World Cup stop is this weekend in Ljubno, Slovenia, so that's one of the smallest hills on the circuit. But the best in the world are really able to adapt so quickly. In a matter of one jump, you basically need to be ready for qualification. So it's all part of the game, and it's all part of the development process. So green light, and here she comes. This is
All
Riko
right, so we've got a
Iwasaki.
skier on the hill.
Riko, super smooth, great
Iwasaki of
direction
Japan
with
in
her
the
upper
air.
body.
And a good
And
solid
although she's
jump for
not the most
Iwasaki.
powerful on the takeoff, I think technically she really has such clean form.
81.5 meters for Riko Iwasaki of Japan.
81 and a half, and puts Riko into 5th place.
Moves into 5th
Looking
place.
at the wind compensation, minus 8.3, so that means there's a little less headwind. I think the strongest wind we've seen today
Next
was
jumper representing
for
Finland,
her teammate Yu
Sofia
Saito,
Mattila.
minus 19.4. So calmer conditions that should make for some good jumps.
Gets the flag.
Here
and
she
Mattila
comes
is
from
on the
Finland,
hill.
Sofia
9 meters
Mattila.
to go into the lead as we watch her fly. Great
That
aggressive
signature
flying position
Jenny
there, coming in
Rautinaho,
right
low
around
upper
that
body,
81 or so meter
trying
mark
to
for
click
Sofia
into that flight.
Mattila.
And you gotta wonder whether
Finland.
they're from the same ski club or whether she's just been
At
looking
80
up to
meters, the distance
Jenny as
for
one of her
Mattila.
idols,
That's going to qualify her for the
a
second
real
round
leader
of
on
competition.
the Finnish team.
And sort of a
It's a
wide
small
spread of
team, but
scores there from the judges, getting a
great to
13.5
see
from the Slovakian judge and
That
16
effort from
others.
Sophia, and that puts her into 8th place. So we
Sofia
will
Mattila of
be
Finland.
seeing Sophia in the second round. Sandra Sprock still up there in 4th place.
Representing Germany, Julina Kreibig.
Yeah, 18-year-old skier from Clinton.
Here we go. You can see some headwind moving up the hill.
She's had a good season so
The light
far,
is
with a few
still
performances
yellow.
on Continental
We're
Cup
waiting
and
for the
Bishop
green.
Sophin, taking a top 15 spot there and some good results as well.
Now the Germans have such a
Poland on
great
the
development
Alpine Cup
program.
going top 10,
They're
so let's
always
see what she
sending
can
such
do.
a strong team for as long as I can remember.
This is Julina
Really strong
Kreibig
team
aus
at this
Deutschland.
competition. Junior World Championships are a big deal for the German team.
So
And
waiting
of course,
for
a lot of these
conditions there.
European
She's got the
athletes
green flag,
compete
and
against
here
each
she
other
comes,
from a
Julina
young age on the
Kreibig
Alpine Cup. But
from
here she comes.
Germany.
This is Julina Kreibach.
Aggressive
Oh,
moves
wow.
right to the skis there,
Oh,
and a good looking
that
jump
was
right
definitely
on
what I
that
was
90
saying
meter
about the
mark.
Germans
Jeff,
having
that
a
could be
strong
one of our
team.
longest
Even if
of the
there's
day.
a name that you don't know well from, let's say, the World
Rightfully
Cup,
so.
the depth in the country is really, really impressive.
89.5 meters
And
for
89 and a half
Julina Kreibig of
puts her
Germany.
into 4th place.
So there we go. She had some
She
good
definitely
wind scores
lost a
there,
few
so
points on
despite
that
the
telemark,
distance,
and I'm
the second
actually a
longest,
little
puts her
surprised to
down
see
into
that.
4th
But
position for
she had a
Kreibig.
great jump, great
On to our
distance,
next
and that
skier,
puts her
number
right
28
ahead of
of
Sandra
Finland, Tura
in a
Usa.
4th place. Looking back up the hill, another Finnish athlete. This is Usa Ture. So this will be the 4th Finn that we've seen. The other 3 are already qualified. So like I said, sometimes it takes a little bit for the
So with
development
these
to
wind
hit. You
conditions,
have
which are pretty
some
favorable
stars
at
up
the
on the
moment,
World
it's
Cup,
gonna
but
be
it
mark
takes
of
a little while
85 meters
to
to
kind of
put
create
her
the next generation.
into
So
the
it's really
lead as
great
she
to see
waits for the
Finland
green light.
not only here with a few stars, but also in depth.
And again, it's great to have this excellent live streaming here. Thanks to our friends at Bullet Timing for putting that together. That's available on the FIS.
All right, so
If you
she's
wanna send
waiting
that to
for
family
the
and
green
friends
light,
around
of
the globe. They can
course.
watch
57,
live.
58. At 60 seconds, the light's going to go red.
Number 28.
And the trick is they can still switch it to green right on 59 seconds, so you really need to be ready until the very last second. Sometimes you might lose focus because you're used to just getting on the bar and going. So that's another challenge that maybe some of these younger athletes haven't experienced as much. So it'll be really interesting how USA combats that.
USA Dura of Finland steps out of the start.
Getting a nice view of the hill. We're seeing some different flags out there. In traditional Lake Placid fashion, today is a big day for ski jumping. First we have the women's individual competition, and then later this evening the men's competition. But bringing us back into the here and now, back onto the bar. Bib number 28 getting ready to go. Remember, we have 44 athletes, so we're a little bit more than halfway through the round.
To move into the top spot.
And the light has turned green, so now she has 10 seconds to leave the bar. Here she comes. This is USA Ture from Finland. Getting some nice pressure under her skis. You saw how flat she kept her skis. And although that wasn't the most aggressive jump we've seen, I believe that will be enough for that second round. Let's see, puts her into 13th place. So just in qualifying, and that means 4 Finnish women into that second round, and that in itself is a big accomplishment for the country.
29 is definitely one to watch. From Italy, this is Martina Zanitzer.
For all the ski jumping fans, this is a name that you've come to know. One of the developing athletes from the Italian team. She's gotten some World Cup experience this year. Also arrived here in Lake Placid a bit early to compete on that
HS100.
World Cup on the large hill. But here she comes. This is Italy's Martina Zanitzer. Martina powerful in the takeoff, shifting a little bit in the flight, but great distance for Martina. Remember, the long jump that we've seen is that 90 meters from Ingrid, but she lost a bit on wind compensation or gate compensation. Martina 87.5 into 5th place, and it is really close up there. Within places 2 to 6, it's a matter of almost 5 points. So Martina just ahead of Sandra Sprock from the U.S. The next athlete, Leah Böhme. She is more well known, very competitive on the Alpine Cups, one to watch. And a good jump for her. Also not cracking that elusive K point, but coming close. 86.5 meters. It will come down to style and win points. Her teammate Julina, currently the top German, can she put her out of that spot? No, she can't. Into 7th place, right behind Sandra Sprock. So that really shows the level that Sandra's jumping at right now. And great for her to perform on game day here in Lake Placid after such an exciting week already.
Jumper at the start, bib number 31, representing
at the top now, 31 from Austria. Waiting for the green, and the green is here.
All right, so it's 93
10 seconds to get off the bar.
To go into the lead.
Interesting way to set her in run, but here she comes, Sarah Pokorny from Austria.
Nice aggressive takeoff.
Definitely trying to put down a lot of force on the takeoff. Looking at the reaction, she's not pleased with that.
For her, 72 meters for Sarah Pokorny from
Didn't
Austria.
have the distance she really wanted. 72 meters.
It's going to be right on the
And
limit.
that's
Her
how fast
qualifying
it goes,
figure.
down into
Just
18th
outside
place.
the
So
qualification
that was
on,
good news for
Natalia
Poland's
Slovak.
Natalia
Poland
Slovak, because that bumped her in.
Next up, number
But
32
Sarah
from
just on
Germany,
the bubble
Anna
now,
Fee
waiting
Schaffenberg.
for one more.
Again, the Germans brought a crack squad
Strong
here to the
team,
World Juniors,
strong
and she
athlete,
is on the
Anna
hill.
Fee Schaffenberger from Germany.
Nice flight there for Schaffenberg.
Ooh,
Drifting a little
moving
bit
around a
there,
little
trying
bit. I
to
think that was
regain
a
her
bit of a
balance in the
step
air.
back for Anna
Don't
Fee.
think she's totally psyched with that one.
76.5 meters.
As we await the distance for Schaffenberg.
Puts her down into
76.5
12th position for the
meters.
moment. That's a disappointment, but the good news for her, she gets another jump. She will be able to show us
Schaffenberg
her
into
best,
12th
hopefully in
position
that
there.
second round.
Our next jumper representing Slovenia, Lucia Jurgic.
Speaking of World Cup, it's another athlete we've seen.
So Schaffenberg moves into 12th position
She
there between
is
two
on the
Finns,
bar
Sofia
waiting
Lahtila and
for the
Julia
green.
Aikija. As we wait for the green light.
Slovenia also a very strong nation when it comes to ski jumping.
Slovenia.
We saw
Again, the
Nika
Slovenian
Prejec
team, what a squad to watch.
with
They handled
2
the defending
wins
world
on the
junior
large
champions
hill here in Lake
and,
Placid.
a lot of experience on the World Cup circuit for that squad.
Lucia, unfortunately, skipping out on the World Cup in Lubno,
And
Slovenia,
Jurgic
in order to be
is
here competing in Lake
waiting
Placid.
for the green.
But of course, Junior World Championships is a really big deal, and
All of these Slovenian athletes
for
have
the
a
junior
shot at,
athletes,
moving into the
it's
top
important
five. They
to
just fly so
show their
well.
best here.
You never know which one's going to be at the top of
So
the
she's moving off the bar now. She'll have a
They're
chance
always
to
pulling for it out there.
regroup,
Aggressive flyers.
get ready for
Like you said,
that jump.
Tara Bodlai was our bronze medalist, also on the team out there, defending champion.
Yeah, Jurgic, awesome. She's a regular fixture on the Alpine Cup circuit. Competed in her first World Cup event this past weekend here in Lake Placid. Such a great pipeline for these athletes to develop.
All right, there you heard it from announcer Dave McCahill. First World Cup here in Lake Placid. But here she comes, Lucia Jurgic. Very calm in the air. Maybe not getting all of the distance, but really smooth takeoff. 78 meters. And as far as I can tell, with that good landing, I think that will be enough to secure her spot in that second round. And it is into 13th place for Lucia. Sandra Sprock from the Nordic Ski Club sitting in 6th.
And another athlete coming up from Norway, number 34. This is one to watch, Kjersti Giesli of
You heard it,
Norway.
one to watch, and I heard Lena Yar from the coaches stand. This is one to watch. She's had some huge jumps already.
Here she comes.
Kjersti Gresley,
Great
so aggressive,
flyer,
keeping her upper
way
body
over
low
tail jet.
and
But this is
stomping
gonna
the
be lead
telemark.
for Giesli
But
of
you can
Norway.
tell how much it means to these athletes. Look at her reaction.
A
It
good
wasn't
performance for her.
guaranteed,
Flies it
and
down
she's
there.
so
What a
happy.
flight.
94 meters,
Telemark landing.
and that'll be the clear lead for Gresley from Norway. Huge smile.
Well, look at that.
And with an
94
8.1
meters,
point
4
lead
meters
ahead of her
faster.
teammate
Tina
Ingrid
Lucky
in
does
second.
not go into the lead there. So she compensation.
So-
She lost 12 points due to the wind conditions.
Kjersti
Shows
really
you how
living
strong
up
Ingrid
to her training
Lochten's
jumps,
jump was.
not always to
Next
be
up,
taken
number
for
35
granted.
of Germany.
But we're
This will be
only on
Kim
bib 35, so we
Aus
still have 9
Deutschland.
competitors left to go. I'll be curious to see if she can hold on to the lead. But here
So
comes our
two
next
Norwegians
athlete,
ahead
Kim
of the
Amy
Slovenians.
Dušek
Podium
from
as we watch
Germany.
the German fly.
A little bobbling with
Getting
the
pushed around
skis,
just a
but
little bit in
great
the air, but
direction.
very close to that
You get a
K
chance
point.
to look at just the confidence in her upper body. She can
Dušek
still
coming in
tighten
at
up the skis a little
89.5
bit,
meters.
get those under control. But great
Kim Amy
distance,
Dušek.
89.5. One of the
Solid
further
performance
jumps
for
we've
Dušek,
seen today,
not
and
quite up to that level in
puts
the
her
trainings
into
we've seen
third
so
place
far.
right
She
now,
really puts it together for
behind the
competition.
2 Norwegians.
With a ride of 89.
Looking up the hill now, she was 6th place in last year's Junior World Championships in
Into
Planica.
third place. Kim
She
Amy
is
Dušek of
definitely
Germany.
going to be fighting for a podium. She wants it bad. Here she comes,
All right,
Switzerland's
HDR still to come.
Sina
So
Arnett.
Now the top Swiss jumper. With those Van Deer skis
Seen a
out of
little
Mirza,
quicker than
Austria,
I
a
want
nice
her
looking
to be.
jump for her.
Kind of not letting the jump
Again,
develop
it's
as
not
much
gonna be
as she
podium
does
for
on her
her
best
after round
jumps.
one, but it could be
Sometimes
top
with a little
10. A nice jump
competition
of
pressure, you
18.5
just want to do
meters
everything a
for
little bit
Sina.
quicker. And unfortunately, it puts her down into 12th
For
place.
her, as we see the
Like I
judges
said,
score.
very strong performance last year, and
And that's going to be good enough
really
for
one of
12th
the
position
hopes
Sina,
for
so we'll see her
Switzerland,
again
part of
in
this
round
next
number 2.
generation. But
top of
it
the
goes
hill
to
for our
show
next
how
jumper.
deep the field is and how quickly
Our
can
Polish
move down
jumper
the
was here
ranks.
for the competition. Had a really good, jump.
Yeah,
in
you
the
can listen to the
trial
commentators
round.
just reflecting on that huge 130-meter jump.
Pola
Pola Beltovska, great flyer, confident with where her body direction is, but missing the takeoff a little bit. You can see from her reaction she knows it. But still, the confidence that she's bringing with her, that keeps her in the mix. 87 meters and into 8th place for now, behind Martina Zanitzer and ahead of Sandra Sprock.
Just 14s there, so it moves her into 8th ahead of Sandra Sprock, USA.
All right, it's getting tight now. We're getting into the final jumpers, and this is another one to watch. Megan Wozak from Austria.
And again, she'll get 87 meters
We've
now
seen
in
her on the
first
World
heat
Cup too.
to move into the lead as we wait for the green light for
Currently,
Wozak.
we're missing Austrians in the top 10, which is a bit surprising. So let's see if she can change that. Here she comes, Megan Wozak. Arm a little bit out, but solid distance. Not cracking into that, close to 90-meter range, which is what she needs. And just watching the reaction, that wasn't necessarily the jump she was looking for. But again, puts her into 10th place. It's very close around that zone. You can see only 0.7 points behind Sandra Sprock.
Warm-up jumps for this one.
But
He knows it went wrong.
let's
Our
see
next
how that
jumper
goes in
at
the
the
second
start,
round.
Agnieszka Indrachkova
The light
from
is green,
Czechia.
and here she comes. This is one to watch as well. Agnieszka Indrachkova from Czechia.
It's two Norwegians out in front.
Solid takeoff
Nice jump there. Right on
and
the
getting close to that 90-meter mark. And an 88-meter flight for Agnieszka.
16, 17. It was a pretty sharp-looking jump for Indrachkova.
I did see a Czech flag out there, so hopefully she has some fans.
Agnieszka Indrachkova,
Sometimes at the
Czechia.
Junior World Championships, you'll have some parents or some close friends make the trip
All right,
to
so
these
she moves into
competitions.
fourth position there.
But usually it's only a drive away. This year, of course, it's a flight away. Puts Agnieszka into 4th place. And speaking of fans, we hear the cowbells going off, even some personalized banners. Here she comes, Josie Johnson from the U.S. Oh, aggressive as always, skis around her ears and getting close to that K point. Oh, Josie is always a thrill to watch. Absolutely no fear out there. She loves the big hills. Well, let's see where that puts her. All right, looks like that goes into 9th place for Josie. She really lost some points from the judges. But let's
Our
see
next
how she
jumper,
does in that second round.
Representing Japan, Yuzuki
All right,
Sato.
bib number 41 next, Yuzuki Sato. We saw her also competing in the mixed team with her teammate Yukiya. So it was two competitors with the name Y Sato, which was very funny. That was in the mixed team. But Yuzuki here to compete in the Junior World Championships.
Here in this first round of competition.
Waiting
And
for the
coming
green
shortly,
light.
Our current junior world champion Tina Erjar, Slovenia, as we wait for the green light for number 41.
And taking a second to reflect
Yuzuki
on the
Sato.
current standings. Now, if this is one thing to say about the sport, it's great to see so many nations up there. So excluding Norway, who have people in the 1-2 right now, we have Norway, Germany, Czechia, Slovenia, Slovakia, Italy, US, and Poland, all in the top 10. So that is really great to see the improvements. There you can see the current rankings on the left side of your screen. Josie Johnson and Sandra Sprock really up there. That'll be great. A great starting point for them. But if you look at the point spread, it's all so close. On this normal hill, you really can't fly away like you can maybe on a large hill. So there are a lot of jumps that are similar in distance, and it really comes down to the style. But here comes our next competitor, bib number 41, Yuzuki Sato. Yuzuki with some height, great flight, and flying over that K point. Okay, let's see what that does for her. Remember, the far jump that we've seen was 94 meters from Kjersti Gresli from Norway. 88 meters, so not even quite to that K point, but puts her into second. Like I said, style is so important. She got 17s and a 16.5 from the judges, and that's what made the difference. Last year's Junior World Champion, here she is, Tina Ersar. Great rotation, flying over that K point and getting a telemark. That is probably the first real celebration we've seen. Oh no, it's frustration, not a celebration. 89.5. Seems like she felt like she left something out there. Puts her into 5th place. Remember, she came here to win. She wanted to be in that top position. But right now she's in 5th place, which will give her a great position to attack from in that second round. Another medalist from last year's Junior World Championships, Slovenia's Taya Bodlai. Taya has actually spent quite a bit of time here in Lake Placid over the last couple years. Let's see if Taya can deliver today.
Here she comes.
Come on, Taya. Flying over that K point with a telemark.
Nice jump for her. You can see the
Taya has been a little bit up and down this year. You know, at this age, you're still dealing with growth spurts and changes in your body, so it's like every day is a new day, and Taya was not exempt from that experience, but great to see her here delivering in Lake Placid. 91.5 and into 2nd place. Ooh, on the screen now, you can see the graphic. Down 2 gates, coach's request. So this is Ingvild Sineva Midtskogen. She's bib number 44, so the last athlete to come. And remember, the Norwegians also made a gamble on Ingrid Lotte. She went from gate number 19. So this is only 2 gates down instead of 3. Ingvild Sineva Midtskogen had some great jumps, 3rd and 1st in the training. But she's really come into her own this year. While some athletes struggle with their introduction to World Cup, Ingvild absolutely commanding her presence. Coming from gate 20, here she comes, the Norwegian sensation, Ingvild Sineva Midtskogen.
Only if she gets to 95 meters.
Really low upper body and carrying the speed. That is a huge jump. Remember, she's 2 gates down for most of the field, but that second half of her flight is where she excels. 96 meters for Ingvild. That is going to be perfect for her. She not only gets the wind and gate compensation points for going down speed, but she also had the furthest jump that we've seen today. Ingvild with a comfortable 17.4 point lead over 2nd place. Now those are the results, the standings after 1 jump. The top 30 will advance into the 2nd round. So look at the scores coming in now. These are the top athletes that we're going to have to watch out for. Josie and Sandra sitting comfortably in 13th and 15th place respectively. But the points are so close. Look at that. It's anybody's game, and there you can go up. It seems like you can go up or down 10 places in a blink of an eye. But Natalia Slovic marking the last athlete to qualify for the second round. The others will have to cheer on their teammates in the second round.
And get ready for our top 30. We're going to run that in reverse order. So ski friends here, we're glad you're joining us.
So we should have a 20-minute break and get ready for the second round, but I'm waiting for the exact time.
Just a few minutes with round number 2.
So you can see on the left, that's a yellow jacket from a German coach making his way up the hill. What a gorgeous day for ski jumping. And the views from the top of the hill are really incredible here in Lake Placid. You get to see the mountains snow covered in the top left of your screen there. That's Whiteface Mountain. That's where they have all of the Alpine skiing events. I was there a few days ago and it was actually some of the best best skiing I've had on Whiteface in a very long time. Start time for the final round, 3:17. So 18 minutes to go for all of you around the world. Just know that you have to be back here and ready for that second round in 18 minutes. So we're watching them make sure that the track is in good condition. There could be some direct sunlight. It was very cold this morning, so I think it might be warming up now. So they just want to make sure that the track is still sliding smoothly. Taking a look, you have people preparing the hill. That all is good for that second round, but overall, a thrilling first round. Hillsize 100 Junior World Ski Championships. I'm going to leave you for a few minutes and then be sure to be back here maybe 15 past the hour to make sure you don't miss the first jumpers.
Joining us here, you're watching the FIS Nordic Junior World Ski Championships here in Lake Placid. We are halfway through the women's Normal Hill individual event here. Slovenian. All the athletes competing for the title of Junior World Champion. And so a time check, it is 3 o'clock. We're going to get underway with our second and final round of 30 athletes at 3:17 p.m. About 15 minutes from now. And again, a reminder, if you're joining us here, don't forget to take advantage of the great conditions out at Mount Van Hoevenberg. The cross-country trails at Mount Van Hoevenberg invite you to the meticulously groomed trails through the snowy woods. For more information, visit mountvanhoevenberg.com. If it's alpine skiing you're looking for, Whiteface's 8-passenger scenic to the top of Little Whiteface in 15 minutes. You don't need skis to enjoy the views. More info at whiteface.com. once again, sports fans, about 12 second and final round. Promotes an interactive, student-centered skate or biathlon. Visit Mount Van. Indoor climbing interest with over 1,500 feet of climbing. But I can get options of building there and traverse. .com.
Okay, I'm plugged in now. Yeah.
All right, sports fans, welcome back. We are only 2 minutes away from the start of the second and final round of the FIS Women's Individual Hillsize 100 Junior World Championships event. This is the biggest event for these women at the Junior World Championships, and we're glad to be kicking it off here on the first day of competition. Now remember, the top 30 from the first round will be jumping in reverse order, 30th coming first and finishing with the leader after the first round. Now just a recap, Ingvild Midtskogen from Norway, currently sitting in the lead with a commanding lead over second place. She had an incredible 96-meter jump from gate 20, so she went down 2 gates from the rest of the field, a little less speed, but incredible execution on her part. Second place, Kjersti Gresli, also from Norway, with a 94-meter jump. Third right now is Taya Bodlai from Slovenia. Fourth place, Yuzuki Sato from Japan. And fifth place, Ingrid Latte from Norway. On your screen now, you are seeing the starting order, so we are now making our way down the list. Of course, 30th to come will be the leader. On your screen now, this is the top 10. Now, a lot can happen in one jump. The scores are really tight. You're not seeing them right now on your screen, but within 2 meters, there were a lot of jumps. And so it's going to be coming down to style and coming down to having 2 great jumps in order to walk away with a podium today. Alright, it looks like we're going to be starting again from gate number 22 and kicking it off for us already on the bar now. This is Natalia Slovik from Poland. Natalia, we know from the World Cup, and here she comes. Good looking jump, skis flat, and trying to make her way down the hill. She had a 74-meter jump in the first round, and that seems to be a little bit shorter, so 71 meters for Natalia on that one. Unfortunately, I don't think that was quite the performance she was looking for here. I know that there was a lot left for her, but hopefully she gets to compete in some of the other team events and show us some of her better jumps. The next athlete coming from Kazakhstan, this is Alyona Svirendenko. Great to see Kazakhstan represented well in the field. Unfortunately, she's the only one who made it to that second and final round, but it shows that they are slowly making their way up in the rankings. Here she comes. This is Alyona from Kazakhstan. A little slow to move into the flight, but a solid effort. Remember, she had a really good first round jump, starting with bib number 14, so kind of earlier in the round. 73.5 meters. That'll be the longest jump that we've seen in the second round, but a little bit shorter than she did in the first one. Looking at the wind compensation points, minus 9.9, so conditions are great. Light headwind, perfect for some far jumps. Moving on to bib number 28. This is Usa Torre from Finland. Feel free to disregard the bib numbers because they are jumping based on their performance, not the bib number. But she has the green light to beat 66.5 meters. Let's see what she can show us. Here she comes. Solid jump, and that was much better than in the first round. I think she'll be happy with that, and it's jumps where you just get a little bit more edge that hopefully she can continue to climb her way in the rankings. So a 1.5 meter improvement from the first round, 79 meters, pretty solid style marks, 15.5s, bringing that into the lead for now. So she'll be sitting down there in the leader's chair. Let's see how long she can hang on to it. Her teammate, the next one to challenge her for the lead. She's also waiting for the green light. I think that this round will move along a bit smoother than the first one. We had a few wind holds. And sure enough, here it is, the green light. And here she comes. This is Emilia Vidre from Finland. Good looking jump. Ooh, struggling on the landing. Like I said, the points are so close right now. 71.5. So not only did she not get the distance that she had in the first round, but she also struggled a bit on the landing. The style points will come onto your screen shortly, and you can see there 12.5 from the Estonian judge. That'll get thrown out, but coming away with 13s for style. Unfortunately, that moves her back 2 spots. Amelia now sitting in third. Back to the top now. This is one of the World Cup competitors from the weekend, Kika Sakamoto from Japan, bib number 23 on the bar. The furthest jump we've seen in this round was 79 meters, so she will be chasing that in order to take the lead. To beat 76.5, let's see what she can show us. Kika Sakamoto has some height, getting the rotation and flying over the start of that blue zone. Now let's see what she gets for distance. 81 meters. So again, that'll be the longest jump that we've seen in this round. And that puts her into the lead. 145.9 points total, with a 4.1 point lead ahead of second place, Usa Ture from Finland. So Japan in the lead now. Speaking of Finland, another contender from Finland. Here she comes. This is Julia Aikia. Ooh, tips kind of dropping a little bit. That made her kind of have to back out a little bit of the flight. Oh, you can tell she's so disappointed. She had a really strong jump in the first round, 82.5 meters. And that, unfortunately, was much shorter, almost a 10-meter decrease. But she didn't lose too many places, so puts her into third place right now, just behind her teammate, Usa. On the bar now, we have our next contender, another athlete who got to compete here in the World Cup on the large hill. From Slovenia, an absolute ski jumping powerhouse. Her coach Sten with the signature whistle. Here she comes, Lucia Jurgic. Now, she seemed a little bit disconnected in the air. Unfortunately, her skis and body not necessarily working together as well as she would have liked. Still getting decent distance out of it. 80 meters for Lucia. That'll be enough for the lead for now, but I'm not sure how long she'll be able to hang on to it. For athletes like Lucia, it's great to have a positive experience here at the Junior Worlds and hopefully bring that with her for the second half of the season. Germany signature strong team. Here she comes, Anna-Fee Schaffenberg. Better height and driving over the knoll with a nice telemark. Schaffenberg not looking to sacrifice any points for the landing. So 80 meters, matching the distance of Lucia before her. Style coming in and puts her into second place, 2.4 points behind Lucia Jurgic from Slovenia. Now we're moving quickly along in this round. Wind seems to be cooperating. And the next athlete, I feel like we've only seen Finnish athletes so far. Glad to hear all of the Finnish fans tuning in, here to cheer on the women. Next up, here she comes with the green light, waiting for the coach, and on the hill now, this is Sofia Matila. Keeping the speed, great direction, and a nice telemark landing. Remember, she was reminding me of Jenny Rautinaho in that first round, and then I did see it again there in the second half. I don't know if it's how her arms are in her flight or what it is, but something I really see the parallels. Puts her into the lead for now. That's the current standings, 3.2 points ahead of Jurgic from Slovenia. Great to see Finland so strongly represented here at the Junior World Championships. Waiting for the green, our next athlete, bib number 11, coming from Japan, this is Yu Saito. Good jump skis coming a bit strong off the takeoff. So you could see there she's losing a lot of speed, especially when you're coming from a low gate like we have here with the strong field. If you lose the speed over the knoll, it's really hard to maximize the distance. And that's what we saw there. Tips came up really hard, and unfortunately 10-meter decrease for Saito as well puts her down into 5th place for the moment. Sofia Matila from Finland still in the lead. Now, if there's one athlete I know that can make an impression on us, this is the next athlete. 6th place at last year's Junior World Championships in Planica, Slovenia. Overall strong athlete competing for Switzerland, being part of the next generation of Swiss female athletes. Here she comes on the hill now, Sina Arnett. Great direction, trying to make up for that first jump. Not quite the distance, but I'm going to look at the wind compensation as well. 80 meters, but to me it doesn't look like there's quite as much headwind as there was in the first round. Yeah, only minus 6.6. Remember that first round there was so much headwind. So we're still from the same gate, and Sina will be happy to stay in the lead for now with a sizable lead ahead of 2nd place. Here was another one to watch from Italy, Noelia Vueric. Powerful in the takeoff, a little unstable in the air, and I think she has more in that. I feel like she's gotten the hard part down, the takeoff, but she just needs to clean up a little bit in her flight to really be able to fly as well as possible. 77.5. And remember that first round of hers was so strong, 86 meters. So that'll drop her down a few, but remember Sina Arnett, definitely a contender for today's podium, so she's starting a bit further back than we expected. On the bar now, waiting for the green light. Riko Iwasaki from Japan. Her teammates Kika and Yu currently sitting in 6th and 7th. And the green light is hers, so she's waiting for the coach. And here she comes. This is Riko Iwasaki from Japan. Looked to be good from the takeoff, trying to fly down the hill, also not cracking into that critical distance around K that everybody's looking for, so a little bit shorter, 78.5. But remember, we've only seen 2 jumps of 81 in this round so far. So puts Riko back into 5th place, just ahead of Anna Schaffenberg and behind Noelia Vueric. All right, our next athlete, another one that's really proved herself on the Alpine Cup. She has been really strong over the past few years and slowly making her way onto the higher and higher levels. She's waiting for the green light, and the green is hers. Here she comes, bib number 30 from Germany, Leah Böhme. Ooh, good looking takeoff, keeping her speed, and I think that was a league above the rest of the jumps we've seen so far. More distance, 82.5 meters. So that was the longest jump that we've seen in this round. And look at that, minus 3.4 points for wind. So she had no help out there, and that's what's setting her apart right now. Gives her a big lead over 2nd place. I feel like that's what the Germans are known for. They're very powerful on the takeoff. And for some of the less strong on the takeoff athletes, they really rely on the flight. And in headwind conditions, you can get away with a lot more. However, when the wind stops and the speeds stay low, that's where it gets complicated. But our next athlete, she also has experience competing at the highest levels. She had a really successful campaign on the Continental Cup as well, and some great results in Bischofshofen on the large hill. But here we are on the normal hill in Lake Placid, Megan Watzak. Good jump for her, soaring close to that red line. That looked to be around 88 meters, excuse me, from that bottom. I couldn't really tell exactly. 88 meters for Megan. Long ride by far, and also not that much help from the wind. Puts her into first place for the moment, ahead of Leah and Sina. But let's see if the American crowd is waking up now. This was a huge first jump for Sandra. She's really hasn't had as much experience on the World Cup as some of her competitors. She got to jump here in Lake Placid, made it through qualification, and here she is representing the Norwegian Ski Club and USA Ski Jumping, Sandra Sprock. Moving around a little bit in the air, coming up maybe a little shorter than she would have liked, but I think that was an incredible performance from her. 82.5 meters. Let's see how that comes in. Puts her into third place. So very respectable finish for Sandra. Now all she has to do is sit back and enjoy the show. That was a great job from her. She'll be happy with that. And she'll be ready shortly to cheer on her teammate Josie. But before we get to Josie, our next athlete on the bar now, Pola Beltowska. So speaking of headwind, Pola and headwind in Lake Placid are a match made in heaven. She had a huge jump on the large hill. Let's see if she can perform here on the normal hill as well. And a solid jump for Pola Beltowska from Poland. Getting close to that red line. 84 meters. So again, that is the second longest jump that we've seen in the second round. Furthest still, Megan Watzak. And puts her into third, just ahead of Sandra. But I'm sure the crowd is going wild now. Getting ready for their next American athlete. Here on home soil, here in the United States, in Lake Placid, New York. She's waiting for her coach's flag, waiting for the light to turn green. And here she comes from Park City, Utah, Josie Johnson. Oh, much better. Toned it down a little bit and really soaring down the hill. Josie Johnson turning it on for that second round. 87.5 meters. She struggled a little in the first round, a little too aggressive. Here it looks like she took a little bit back from that, and it looked much smoother. Puts her into second place right now. Only 3.1 points back from Megan Watzak, the current leader from Austria. All right, back onto the bar. The action just keeps coming. On the bar now, Italian pride and joy. Here she comes, Martina Zanica. A little late on the timing, but so patient in the air. And I know that with a jump like that, a little bit short, she's just going to slide back in the rankings. The athletes are jumping so close together, and sometimes if you leave a meter or two hanging, you just cannot keep the lead. Good news for Josie Johnson, up one spot. Martina Zanica into third place.
There's a lot of opportunity left up on that hill for these next jumpers.
Bib number
27, Julina Geiby.
Germany, known to be strong. Definitely a force to be reckoned with individually and as a team. But here we are in the women's individual competition
great facility
on
there.
the normal hill.
She's going to need an 88-meter ride to dethrone the Austrian, who really stepped it up with an 88-meter jump in round number 2 as we wait for the green light from the jury.
Glad we have the music back, and here we go. Green light and on the hill.
This is Julina Kreibich of Germany on the hill.
Julina. Looks so solid from the bottom. Great looking jump right over that K
really
point.
Nice looking ride.
And remember, she was trying to beat the 88 meters in order to take the lead. She does it and does it well. 91.5
meters.
and clearly into the lead for Julina. Let's see how long she can hold on. 4.9 points ahead of second place.
Longest jump of the round so far for the Folklander. Julina Kreibich into the lead ahead of Badsak of Austria and Josie Johnson holding on to third place. Our next jumper out of Slovakia,
At the top now.
Yeah, I've been impressed with her
Another
jumping all
great
weekend.
looking
She's been
athlete,
looking
really
solid,
doing
great
well on the
strength.
World
Maybe
Cup
a
on her
She's
own.
got
Here she comes,
some
Tamara
gas in the tank. Let's see
Mesikova.
what she can do.
Quick to the flight, but keeping her skis up.
Nice jump
And
for
very
her. Not
stylish,
quite as far
but
as
not
Heidi,
the
a solid
distance
one. It
that
could
we
be
saw
enough to
from
land her on the
Julina and
podium.
Megan.
86 meters the
Remember,
distance
in
there
order
for
to
the
take the
Slovakian
top
jumper.
spot, you really need to be going into that red
Let's see what
zone.
the judges have to say. Nice
There you can
scores, a
see
17
getting the
in
good
there.
style
That's
points
good enough
and
for
puts her into second place for the moment. Germany, Slovakia,
Mesikova, our
Austria,
10th
1, 2,
place
3
jumper after
for
the
the
first round.
time
Go to our
being.
top 10. Our next jumper up there, bib number 20, representing Slovenia.
There's one athlete that knows how to deal with headwind, knows how to fly. The Slovenians are always good for that. And here she comes, next athlete from Slovenia, Tinkara Komar. Very smooth,
She's
good
taking
looking
advantage
distance
of it,
and
close
good
to
looking
that
style.
point. That could be enough to move her
That looks
past
close
Heidi.
to that red line.
88 meters with a great
88
telemark.
meters, and remember, she had a little bit of
Go
cushion
to
from that
Cape
first
Point
round.
line, 88 meters.
Ooh,
a
and
good,
so
solid,
quickly down into
performance for
fourth
Komar.
place.
But to
So
move up in the
goes
order
to
is
show
going to be
it is
difficult for her.
close. She had a little bit of help from
Yeah,
the
she's
wind,
lost in
and
the
that's
fourth,
what made
right
the
ahead of
difference
Josie
on that
Johnson.
jump
But look at
for
that
Tinkara.
13.3 compensation
in the
points
fourth.
there. So
Julina
there's a lot
Kreibach
of skill. There's
still in the
a
lead.
lot that can happen in the top 8 now, Jeff. And who are we looking at?
Our next
Up at
jumper
the hill now
representing
on the
Czechia,
bar.
Aneška
Here she comes,
Indratkova.
Aneška Indratkova from Czechia.
She had a really solid jump, 88 meters in the first
Smooth,
round.
trying to
An
make her
aggressive
way down the
flyer.
hill.
Look at
Ooh,
that
but she left a
consistency.
little bit hanging
Great
on the
performance for the
takeoff.
Czech skier.
A little late with the timing.
87.5
and
meters.
although she's
Style
so
was pretty good
calm
on this
and
one. That might keep
still
her in
in
it.
the
Let's
air,
see where she lines up after
she
this
needs
last
a little
jump.
bit of help from the takeoff, but it's
That's
enough
good
for the lead.
There you go.
I
See,
spoke
that
too soon.
consistency pays off. So Indrakova can be proud of
Aneška
that.
taking the
Moving in
lead
ahead of Kreibich
over
for the
Julina.
top position.
So she'll move
Our
into the
next
leader's
jumper,
box, and let's see how
one that
long
could
she
really
can
put
hold
one
on.
down the hill.
We are getting towards
Representing
the end of the round,
Slovenia,
and this
Tina
is where it
Erza.
gets tight.
Yeah, no question. She's the defending junior
Just
world
shut
champion.
off.
She's been in this position before, knows
Next
exactly
up.
what it takes. She's got experience
powered,
on
it's
the
just
World
the
Tina
Cup.
Erza
Let's see what
from
Erjar can
Slovenia.
do. She's going to need 85.5 meters to take the
2024
lead.
junior
Here
world
she
champion,
comes.
trying
It's
to
PTT,
make her way up the
program.
standings. Power from the takeoff, and she has
Wow,
height.
great flying position
driving it
for
down the
her,
hill and
past
over
the
the
K
K
point.
point.
A beautiful jump. She's done all she can
Tina
to
is
try and get
frustrated.
herself
She
back on the
wishes
podium.
she could
Looks a little
go up and
frustrated.
try again, but 90
There is
meters,
no PTT.
Stops
very,
that telly
very
down
solid
right at the
effort.
90-meter mark.
But again, I think she
It
was
should be
here
enough for the lead,
looking
but
for
tried
a
to
she
see
big
moved up
right
the
here,
standings in this
Coming,
second round.
being the
Tina Erzar was hopeful
defending
of defending
junior
her
world champion.
junior world
There
title.
was probably a lot of expectations coming from
Yeah,
her.
she's just 17 years old. You know, she said to FIS earlier this year, you know, her goal is to be smiling.
There she is,
This
into
year.
first
She can be
place.
proud. She's
Tina
already a
Erza.
junior world champion. She's made so much
8.3
progress.
points
So a
ahead of
nice
second.
performance for her with 6 athletes
Next
left to
competitor
go.
from
Top of the hill,
Germany.
bib number 35,
number
representing
35.
Germany, Kim Amy Dushek.
Yeah, Dushek was a nice jump, 89.5, just shy of the K point round number 1. She's going to need better than that.
crazy.
To move
This is all
into the
happening
driver's
so
seat
quickly.
from Erzar.
But we are down to the
And
final
she's got the
athletes,
green
and here
light.
she
She's on the
comes,
hill.
Kim Amy Dushek from Germany. Powerful, great looking drive, and over
Aggressive
that
flyer,
K point,
beautiful looking ride. I think that
she
might be
did
good
what
enough
she
for
had
the
to
lead
do
right
and
there.
absolutely delivered.
As
Now
we're
it's up
in
to
our
the
top
points.
5 skiers
See
now.
how the wind
90.5
shakes out, see what the
meters.
judges have
I
to
thought
say.
her last jump was the best we've
90
seen.
and a
It was
half,
building to that. This is
and not
1 meter
enough for
better.
the lead.
But can Amy
1.6
Dušek
points
goes
back
into
from
second
Tina
place
Erzar from Slovenia.
behind
Tina
Erzar of
slowly
Slovenia.
getting closer
Yeah, super
to
close,
the podium.
1.6 behind there, just the compensation. It looks like the jury is reacting
Taking a
now.
look up the hill.
So they are going to make an adjustment to the start position.
Now this
And
is
they're gonna
important.
start
Looking at the left of your
moving
screen,
down
it says
so they're gonna come
jury.
down to gate
So we're going down one gate, but instead of having to reach that critical 95% of hill size, 95 meters on this hill, to get the compensation points, now it's guaranteed.
5 jumpers.
So by bringing the start
And this
gate
is a
down,
jury
there's a
decision.
little bit less speed, so
To move the gate down
as a
one
result,
start, reduce
the
speed
athletes
as we're going
automatically
into
get a
top
few
4
plus
jumpers.
points.
Top 5 jumpers, the 5
Now remember
jumpers
Ingrid from the
remaining
first
in the
round. She went
to
down
decide
3
the
gates, so
Junior
she
World
actually came from the
Championship title.
lowest speed, and she was
The
really early in the round, only bib
normal
number
hill
6,
competition for the women.
and she came from 19.
Yeah, this is Ingrid Lotte
So,
coming up now from Norway.
Now
She
we're
did
down
the
at
official
21,
training,
so a
it was
little
bit
bit
of a
more speed for
surprise when
her,
she
and remember, she is
really
trying to get
sent
onto
it
the
with a jump
podium.
of 90 meters in the first
After the
round
first
after
round,
coming
she
down
was
3
sitting
start
outside in the
positions
cold
there.
in 5th
So
place.
she's got a little bit more speed than she
I think
did
this
in
will
the
be
first
perfect for
round.
her.
This could be a really
She has some
long
great
jump
headwind
for
and
her.
is a great jumper. Here she comes
She's on
from
the hill.
Norway, Ingrid Lotte. Wide V,
Big, wide
but
V
great
style.
angle with
Such
her
a good
a
flyer.
body and
It's the
flying
longest
down the
so
hill.
far, well past the K point.
The fans are
for the
going crazy.
Norwegian
Norway's
there.
always one to
94
watch.
meters, so that
And
definitely
Ingrid
should be enough
totally
to
backing
put her
up that
ahead of
first
Tina
round
Erzar
effort,
at this
94
point.
meters.
Junior world champion.
She's shooting for
But
the
don't
podium
worry,
with
she
that
gets
one.
the gate compensation for
The gamble
free
her
this
coaches
time.
took in
Remember,
the
she
first
left that
round by
hanging
bringing
in the
down a
first
few
round.
starts. She didn't get the compensation because she didn't reach
Okay,
that
so she has an
95%.
11.6 point
That seems to be a crucial
lead
element
ahead of
the
second
reason
place,
she's
but there
not
are still
already on the podium.
4
Our
athletes
next
at the
jumper
top.
representing
It's
Japan,
still anybody's
Yuzuki
game.
Sato.
The next one, who's going to try to dethrone her,
Moves into the lead with
here
an
she comes,
11.6
Yuzuki
point
Sato
lead.
from
Let's see
Japan.
what the Japanese skier can do.
Powerful, dynamic, and aggressive, but not
Nice
getting
jump,
the
but well
distance.
short of the mark set by the
I
Norwegian.
think that is keeping the door open for the final 3 competitors. 85 meters. Remember how close it was. Her teammates out, ready to greet her in the finish area.
Sato
Oh, she's nervous.
fourth place for
Scores
that
are
jump.
coming in
85 meters, a
and
good jump,
into
but she
4th
needs, a
place.
little bit more mileage on that one to
Podium
step on the
absolutely
People fall down to
unattainable,
fourth
but
place.
there you can take a
So here we
look
go.
at
3 skiers
our
still to
current
go. It is
leader.
the fight for the podium. There's your current leader of Norway.
She doesn't know
Ingrid
whether or
Lotte.
not to get comfortable
So she
in that
is
leader's
waiting to
box,
see what she can do currently in
but
the
she's
hot
done
seat.
her
3
work.
skiers
She
to
can
come,
just
starting
sit
with
back and
Kaja
enjoy as
Polaj
the
of
last
Slovenia.
3 come. At the
91
top
and a
now,
half in the
3rd
first
place in
round.
last year's
She's
Junior
got
World
the green
Champion,
light. She's gonna need 93.
Slovenian Taya Bodlai. Here she
Into the
comes.
lead. Let's watch her fly.
Powerful, great direction. Big improvement for Taya, making the most of it.
Right down to about that.
Felt like
I'm
in the
not sure
middle
there's
of the
enough distance
flight
in
there
that
was
jump
a little bit of
to
hesitation.
surpass Ingrid
Her
Lotte
feet
from
came under a
Norway.
little bit. Oh,
Wait
she
for
is
the judges to see
frustrated.
this.
89.5. It's going to come down to the style into second. So the hope remains.
So she's a little frustrated.
Ingrid
but
Lotte,
that's
though,
good enough for second position now. So it could
she
be a
is
podium for her,
guaranteed
but
a
2 skiers
podium.
Still to come. Number 34 up now.
Ingrid
This
is going
Kjersti
to be
Gråli of
absolutely
Norway.
ecstatic,
2
cheering on
Norwegians
her
left
next
at the top
2
of this Olympic
teammates
ski jump
still
here
at the
in
top.
Lake Placid. Who will be the junior world
Oh man,
ski
and this
jumping
is
champion?
exciting
And
stuff.
she's got the
Here
green
she
light,
comes,
Kjersti
the
Gråli
next
of
contender
Norway.
from Norway, Kjersti Gråli.
The cow
Power,
balls are ringing.
height,
She's got
she
the
has it
height.
all!
Look at her fly, and she's down.
And she crashes.
Grace
Oh,
puts
no.
a jump down there.
93 meters.
She's struggling a little bit on the landing.
We're gonna have to
there. It
watch
was
the
a
replay. It
beautiful
looked like
jump, I
she
would say,
just
right around
lost
that
a little bit of
94,
balance.
95-meter mark.
Remember, they're coming in with a lot of speed, and it looked like
And our
she
EMT
just
staff is right
got
there
off
to provide
balance.
assistance.
Oh, that is devastating. She had everything lined
a
up
little bit of
for
a hitch on the
her.
landing. I don't know what caused that for Kjersti Gråli of Norway.
You can hear the commentators are also not sure of what happened From this aerial view, we can't see much.
Put a little bit of a telemark in there. Seems to hot on something out there, whether it was the binding release. Just seemed a little odd for Kirsty Gracely, and that was the difference between a spot on the podium.
Looks like the scores have come in, putting Kirsty down into 6th place for the moment. Oh, Ingrid doesn't know how to feel. She's excited, obviously, to be in the lead, but she cares about her teammate. She wants to check on her. Oh.
With one jumper still left
The emotions
at the top
are
of this
absolutely
hill,
high.
and it is her teammate. It's Ingvild Sinova
I mean,
Midtskogen,
Ingrid right now,
who is the
sitting
final
at the bottom.
skier
She
left.
knows
She
she's
had
guaranteed a
terrific
silver
jump
medal,
in round 1, 96
but she wants to make sure that her teammate's
with
okay.
a 17-point cushion ahead. So at this point, it is Ingvild Sinova Midtskogen's competition to lose here.
Oh boy, looking
But
at
it
the flag
looks
on the
like
right side of your
we're going
screen.
to have a Norwegian
There's a lot of
1-2.
headwind, so conditions were good, and we know from that jump from Kirsty, she went 93, so it was a great, like, very comfortable distance. I know that Ingvild is jumping at a very high level right now, but I think that the speeds are really dialed for, you know, being able to
There's a
go
look at
far,
your
but
leaderboard.
go far
Currently in
safely.
third position, we've got a Slovenian.
Take a look at the standings right now. Remember, one remains, so Taya Bodlai, she looked frustrated. She thought she was out of the running, but just like that, and in that split second, everything changed for Taya Bodlai. She is now guaranteed a bronze medal, while Tina Erzer, last year's world champion, junior world champion rather, sitting in 3rd at the moment with 1 left at the top.
She's being taken off the field there. We hope that she is all right. And we're thankful for our EMT staff for their assistance.
And it looks like we're going to send a trial jumper, so don't get too excited yet. We still have someone to test out the hill, make sure conditions are good before our final jumper of today's individual hill size 100 competition.
And Sandra Struck in
I think
16th.
conditions look great. It's been a great day on the hill already for these women.
One jumper left.
One athlete remains. And she's up there alone. You know, her teammates all just jumped, so she's up there alone with her thoughts, knowing it's her competition to lose right now. Oh boy. It's going to be wild.
Norway sitting in the hot seat
Ingvild
there,
3rd and 1st place in the official training. So her level obviously very high. We've seen her excelling on the World Cup this year.
Tina Erzer of Slovenia, 3rd place.
Taking a look at the top 5 distances, and very interesting graphic here. Ingrid Latte from Norway, our current leader, with that beautiful 94-meter jump.
94-meter ride, putting her
Kirsty Gressly, unfortunately, toppling over on the landing with her 93-meter effort. And the Germans, despite their great distance, not on the podium today. That we can say for sure. So at this moment, we have Norway, Slovenia, 1, 2, 3. But remember, one athlete remains at the top.
And we are one jumper away from the conclusion.
Ingvild had a beautiful 96-meter ride in the first round. But here we're getting a view of the ski jumps. If you thought the normal hill looked big, take a look at that large hill. The views from the top of these jumps are unparalleled. And we're so proud to be welcoming the world back to Lake Placid for the Junior World Ski Championships. Now, we are only hosting the ski jumping and Nordic Combined. The cross-country is at a different location. But we are so proud to have them, and look at that view of Whiteface Mountain. Looks like we are going to see a trial jumper coming from gate 20. So I think that the jury has decided to reduce the speed 1 gate for the final athlete. So, from those beautiful pictures, we're back to live action. Now looking at the top.
Yeah, Jeff, what awesome
Now, I
jump set for
believe
Kjersti
this is a
Grayling
four-jumper.
Norway. Just a beautiful ride. She was 94 meters in the first round. All set for a great performance.
It was a four-jumper, okay. It was making me nervous. I didn't want to miss any of the action.
Somewhere there, she got
Okay.
off balance and took that
So
fall.
one
again,
athlete
we're
remains
picking
at the
her. We
top.
hope everything
It's
goes
her
all right.
medal, her
Medical
chance at
EMT
glory to
staff out
lose.
there, Deb Pika.
At the top now, Ingvild Sinova Midskogen,
Here.
hopefully staying warm.
Again, we're down to a few four jumpers there.
Look at that
And we're gonna
headwind
wait for
moving
our
up the hill.
final jumper.
That's
It's a
exactly
Norwegian
what
at the
she
top of the hill.
wants.
Ingvild Sinova Midskogen.
And looking up, that's her. That's her on the bar. We are ready. She is down 2 gates. Jury decision. So she just
All right,
needs to
so we are
have
looking
a
up at our
normal
final
jump, and
jump of
she
the
will. That
competition.
will
She's
be enough
at the start.
to be 81.5.
Sinova Midskogen of
But I know
Norway.
her. I know that she's a fierce competitor. She's here. She wants to win. And here she comes, Ingvild Sinova Midskogen from Norway on the hill. Beautiful jump, so smooth. Oh my gosh, and even 2 gates down, she absolutely destroyed the competition. She looks relieved more than anything. A beautiful 97-meter jump. And her first teammate to greet her in the finish area is American Josie Johnson. And there it is. That is your Junior World Champion 2025 in Lake Placid, New York. That concludes the competition. And so great to see Norway sitting 1-2. Third place, Taya Bodlai.
And think about that for a bit.
And a great day for these athletes.
She herself did a little
Wow.
bit of bobble on the landing.
What a
but she was
day.
able to
What a
save it there.
competition. That was
Thank goodness
absolutely
for her.
thrilling.
She's got a junior world title.
Yeah, she
Ingvild
totally deserved
Sinova
that. I mean,
Midskogen with the 2
dominating
furthest
performances
jumps
today. She's done so well
and
on the
real
World Cup
commanding
Tour. She's
32-point
definitely
lead ahead of
making
second
minds
place.
go towards the Olympics next
After
year.
that, it gets very
Cortina.
close,
So looking
but
at our podium for
Ingvild
today's competition
really
in third
showing
place, representing
she is not
Slovenia, Taya
only the junior
Bodlaj.
world
In
champion,
second
but
place
also
of Norway,
a
Ingrid
challenger
Lofte,
on
and
the
your
World Cup.
junior world
And she will
champion,
definitely be a
Sinova
challenger at the
Midskogen,
Senior World
also of
Championships
Norway. So
on
Norway goes
Norwegian
1-2
soil in
here at the World
Trondheim,
Junior
Norway.
Championships, followed by 2 Slovenians
This was really
and
important
the
for her
German
to really
round out
solidify her
the
spot
top
on the
5.
Norwegian
A
team.
thrilling afternoon
And
of
it's great to
competition
see
so
her
far
stepping
at
into
the
this
Kenzie World Ski
leadership
Jumping
role,
Complex.
really just being a
Yeah, and again,
reliable force
US
to be
jumpers,
reckoned with.
Josie
There she
Johnson
is,
out of Park City,
your
you
junior
guys
world
up in
champion,
13th.
Ingvild
I'm
Sinova
plugged in too
Midskogen,
much.
going
Move around too
into
much.
equipment control.
Fox River Grove, Illinois, the ski jumping Nordic Club. Yeah,
That gives
she
us
ended
a
up in
chance to
17th
reflect on
place.
the results.
Congratulations to our American athletes
So,
out there.
top finisher from the
Programs
U.S.,
moving
13th
forward.
place, Josie Johnson, just coming from a
Gotta
career best
continue to
24th.
support these women
in
their-
Lake
their-
Placid on the World
being
Cup.
on that World Cup circuit.
Take
Good
a
job
look at
to
the
all
final
the girls in
results
the field
here.
Today. Congratulations.
Points are very close, especially when you look
Yeah,
at
take
that.
a look at the standings on the board there. It's been a great day for Norway with the top
You
2
can see a lot of
positions, gold
movement.
and silver.
We're
On that
really
note, don't go
crossing
away.
our
We're gonna
fingers
be
for
coming up
Kjersti
very
Gresley.
soon
She
with our
came in
prize
so
giving
strong
ceremony.
to this competition, and
It's gonna
I
be
thought we
happening
would
very shortly
for sure see her on the
afterwards
podium.
here, so you can stay
Unfortunate
tuned
that
to
she had a
your
bit of a bobble
champions,
on the
including
landing, and that's
the
really what
junior
cost her
world
the podium.
champions, Ingvild
Hoping
Sinova
she's okay.
Midskogen.
Great to see
Yeah, so that'll
Finland,
be happening
very strong,
shortly,
very
in just a few
deep.
minutes, so
They
our
might not be,
athletes, stay tuned and don't go
you
away.
know, that high up in the list, but to qualify for this
Of course,
competition,
coming
it
up
was a
later, We're
challenge.
going to be getting underway at 5 p.m. with our trial
Sandra
round
Sprock,
for
also
the
a
men's
very impressive
Junior World Ski
17th
Jumping
place.
Championship here on the Normal Hill in Lake Placid.
Two
So
very
coming up
solid
shortly,
jumps today.
the
and that's all you can
prize-giving
ask for.
ceremony for
It's
today's
going to be exciting looking at
women's
the team
jumping
competitions to
competition.
come. We also have that mixed team, 2 men, 2 women. That's one of my favorite events. It's so exciting to see because basically every single jump counts. You need to deliver your very best. And if there's a little bit of hesitation, that can be critical. Getting a view of the fans, it looks like we have a few different countries represented down there. Austria, I see, Norway, US, I believe that was Todd Wilson crossing the finish area. And speaking of Todd Wilson and the Nordic community, it's great to see Nordic Combined and ski jumping coming together here at the Junior World Championships. The sports fans are cheering both on the hill and at Mount Van Hovenberg where the cross-country skiing happens. Hill crew just clearing the hill, making sure it's ready for the next competition because there's still a lot of action to come here in Lake Placid. The men's individual will be happening this evening. So for all of the Europeans tuning in, I hope they can stay awake. It'll definitely be worth it. There are some really strong competitors, and it's always exciting to see how people perform under the pressure of this title. Junior World Champion is definitely very important, and that little extra pressure sometimes makes it harder than just a normal World Cup. But we're going to have a quick break. I think we'll get ready for the prize giving ceremony, and we will get ready for that Norwegian national anthem. So right now the athletes are in equipment control, just making sure everything is up to snuff before they are awarded the prizes. And of course those legendary medals. The snowflake signifies the Junior World Championship. Podium, it's a FIS standard, so it's very special.
I'll be fiddling with this here, so the camera will be down, okay?
While we wait for the podium ceremony, just take a moment to enjoy this jump from Ingvild Synnøve Midtskogen from Norway. Just absolutely flying away with it. Great to see these different angles to just really take it in. So quiet with her upper body and just driving, keeping her hips high and soaring to the bottom of the hill. Absolutely incredible performance from Ingvild. And this is a personal highlight for me. A huge hug from Josie Johnson, just signifying that US-Norwegian partnership is so strong. Giving her a shake and reminding her that she just won Junior World Championships. Great to see her teammate Ingrid Latte up there in second place as well, followed by Slovenian Taja Bodlaj, coming away with another bronze medal from the Junior World Championships. So while we wait for the award ceremony, don't go away. Equipment control is pending. All right, sports fans, it's time for the official prize-giving ceremony of the FIS Nordic Junior World Ski Championships in Lake Placid, New York. heard the FIS fanfare, so we are moments away from seeing our official podium from today's individual competition.
Fans and guests, the medal ceremony for the Nordic World Junior Women's Individual Normal Hill Championships. Please welcome the medalists. The medals will be presented by Tara Garrity-Moats, Team USA ski jumper, Women's Nordic Combined overall champion, and current U.S. biathlete athlete. Mascots will be presented by Darcy Rowe Norfolk, New York State Olympic Regional Development Authority Director of Communications. Sixth place, Japan, Yuzuki Sato. Fifth place, Germany, Kim Amy Dushek. Fourth place, from Slovenia, Tina Herzaz. Third place, Slovenia, Taya Budlaj. Second place and silver medalist representing Norway, Ingrid Lotte. First place, gold medalist and junior world champion, representing Norway, Ingvild Synnøve Midtskogen. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Norway. The Lake Placid 2025 FIS Nordic World Junior winners.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the podium for this year's Junior World Championships. In first place from Norway, Ingvild Synnøve Midtskogen. In second place, also from Norway, Ingrid Latte. And in third place, Taya Bodlai from Slovenia. An incredible day of ski jumping action, and the week has just started here in Lake Placid, New York. With the Junior World Ski Championships just kicking off today, we will have many more competitions to come. Most prominently this afternoon, the men's individual competition on the HS100 will take place. So for all of the ski jumping fans, thank you for joining me this evening, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It's been Nina Lucy here with you today, and hope to see you back at the hill soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, stick around. Our Nordic Junior World Championship activity will continue. At 5 o'clock, we'll have our men's individual normal hill competition with a trial round starting. It'll be a one-round trial round, not for score, just to warm up the athletes on the hill, and then they'll go for 2 competitive rounds starting at 6 p.m. Please stick with us.